Hey everybody, welcome. Today we are going to talk about minding your own business and how this frees us from this suffering and pain. I again am going to kind of be using Byron Katie's book, Loving What Is, as kind of a reference because she's changed the world and how we look at everything in this life. So I'm going to be reading off some notes. So if I look down, that's why. But she is so famous for this concept of minding your own business, which is like, when I heard this, I'm like, I guess I need to just stay in my own business because I'm always such a nosy. I think because I was the youngest of 5, I always wanted to know what everyone else was doing. What were they thinking? What were they feeling? Like, I just wanted to always be up in their business. And the same thing with anyone, right? It's not just like my family. It was my friends. It was everyone in the world. I wanted to pay attention to what they're doing. Anyways, so she talks about that we try so hard to think about what other people are thinking, right? She breaks it into there's three different businesses in the universe. She says there's mine, there's yours, and there's God's, right? So like if we think about so my business is what I can control, right? My thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my results. It's the things that I actually have control over, right? Anyone outside of us, our children, our spouse, our neighbors, the president of the United States, whatever, the people at work, that's their business or yours. And then there's God's business, which I am a religious person, so I actually believe that, right? It's, the storms and the pandemics and the wars and anything else outside of that, right? That's God's business, right? How he manages the universe. So these are the things that we have control over, right? We need to stay in our business because anytime you're thinking about other people and what they should be doing or what they should have done this or why are they doing this or whatever it is, or you think about, oh, isn't that just terrible? All, the wars overseas and that causes us what? Is it joy? Is it goodness? Is it excitement? Is it anything positive? Not normally. It causes us a lot of suffering. So much of our stress comes from mentally living out of our business. That's where our stress comes from, is when we're worrying about what other people are doing or not doing, and which honestly is kind of silly because we have absolutely no control over anybody else except for us. Okay, so think about your life. What do you spend the majority of your energy thinking about? Is it possible that you're exerting energy on things that are none of your business? Yes, the answer is yes, because mine is for sure. So here are some questions for you. What about your mother-in-law, that time she said that thing at dinner, right? That's thinking about her business and what she said and that she should or shouldn't have said that or reacted to a different way. Or that our neighboring countries are at war or in crisis mode. And I want to say a disclaimer, like, we can love and we can pray for these people and we can think about them in a positive way. But when we are if it's causing a net negative effect, I will say that, right? Like if it's causing us distress and it's causing us pain to be thinking that way, then it's not serving us, right? We can think about them in a loving way and pray for them and do what we can, but it's really God's business how this all plays out. So it's out of our control, letting go of that. Or that my dad should have noticed and offered in a certain circumstance, or that my husband should have done X, Y, and Z because he must know I'm struggling, right? When we're thinking about what everyone else should be doing except for us, that's when we create a lot of stress in our lives. So in life coaching, we describe this concept in, we call it getting in other people's models. So I kind of have to explain what a model is to you first for you to understand. So a model is this framework that's been created to describe how our circumstances, our thoughts, our feelings, and our results, how they all interconnect, right? So we have this circumstance, and in Byron Katie's book, she's always talking about a problem. So we come to understand deeply that it is not the problem or the circumstance that is causing our suffering, right? Because whatever it is, we call neutral, right? Like weight and money and what people say and what people do, it's all neutral. It's not positive nor negative until we have a thought about it. Or in Byron Katie's book, she says it just is, right? Like what we would describe as neutral, it just is, like, right? It has no weight one way or another. So it's actually the thought about this certain problem or circumstance that's creating this emotion. So we feel an emotion, right? Because of a thought. So we feel angry or sad or disappointed, and it's that emotion that's driving everything that we do, right? So our emotions drive our action. So when I'm sad, I'm going to do something a lot different than when I'm happy or excited. And then our actions that we take in our life create our results. So let me give you an example. I asked my husband to switch a load of laundry the other day, and I get home and the laundry wasn't switched. And I think this thought, he should have listened. If he cared about me, he would have. Okay, so the actual physical changing of the laundry is not what made me feel something. It was this thought that he should have. If he cared about me, he would have, right? So I felt annoyed. I kind of withdrew. I was being cold, and I disconnected myself from him. So then the result I was creating from those actions is that I'm not showing up as and loving him or caring for him, and causing myself a lot of suffering because of what? My thinking. So I've talked about this in some other videos, but we cannot control anything outside of us without it being detrimental, right? Nothing. We can't control without it having a net negative effect. We can't manipulate or deceive. We can, but then it doesn't create any positive in our life. So control decays love. So why I am saying this is because if we truly can believe that we have control where? In our own models, in our own way of thinking, in our business, then we can start letting go, pulling ourselves apart from worrying and thinking and exuberating so much energy on other people's business and other people's problems. They are their problems alone. Where our control comes from is how we want to think about this problem. I hope that was helpful to you, especially in a world full of challenges and unforeseen lots of unforeseen everything, right? And I will talk to you all next week. All right, bye-bye.